Good morning, Internet. My name is Michael and I'm here to review some stuff for you. Today we continue Black History Month with Blackenstein. Now, if you've never seen this movie before, let me read the back so you can get a general idea. Dr. Winifred Walker and Nobel Prize winner Dr. Stein believe they can restore dismembered Vietnam vet Eddie Turner to the man he once was, but the results turn monstrous, and the Blackenstein monster goes on a rampage of murder and disemboweling. Unaffected by fists, bullets, and blunt objects. Who or what can stop this menace? And will Dr. Stein have to return his Nobel Prize? So, yeah, that's not really a very good description of the movie. Oh, this movie does have a tagline, to stop this mother takes one bad brother. That's totally misleading for this movie. Alright, so, Blackenstein. It's sort of a blaxploitation horror movie, kind of like, I guess, Blackula and stuff. Except not very good movie. It's different, I'll give it that. It's very different. The movie starts off with Dr. Winifred. She's a lady doctor. They say she's like a physicist degree or something. And anyway, she flies to LA to team up with her former teacher, Dr. Stein. And Dr. Stein's the mad genius in this movie. Anyway, she is going to get married to a Vietnam veteran who stepped on a landmine and his arms and legs got blown off. And she moved to LA to be with him, and she thinks that Dr. Stein can help them out. So they get Eddie, who's the vet, and they take him to the laboratory, and basically they do limb transplants on him. They give him new arms and new legs, and also you discover that Dr. Stein is apparently a super geneticist. They use the terms DNA code and the genetic sample a lot in this movie. You also find he has a couple other patients at the place. There's this woman who's in her 90s that he apparently discovered a way to reverse the aging process, but she has to have injections every day. And then there's this other old guy who has a leg transplanted, but he also has to get injections every day. And he also has a tiger leg. Yeah, tiger leg. The doctor did an RNA thing or something. He made some other formula that's supposed to work better, but doesn't, and he says it does throwback stuff. Which is why the guy has a tiger leg. Anyway, they do the surgeries. Eddie gets his new arms and new legs, and he's actually progressing pretty well. But then you find out that Dr. Stein's evil henchman, Malcolm, he's like a butler / assistant guy. He's in love with Dr. Winifred, and he admits his feelings to her, but she said that she just likes him as a friend, and he doesn't like getting friend zoned, so he sabotages the experiment and switches up the formula with the RNA one. So they finish up Eddie's surgeries, but they keep injecting him with the wrong formula, and it starts turning him into a monster, and he becomes Blackenstein, which is this thing from the cover. That's what he looks like. He basically does look kind of like a black version of Frankenstein's monster, except he's not a Frankenstein monster because he was never dead, he was never brought back to life, but he acts like a Frankenstein monster. Anyway, they take him to the basement and they put him in this sort of dungeon thing with a cage door, except it's never really closed. And anyway, they're trying to figure out what's going wrong, and the whole while Malcolm, the evil assistant, keeps giving these looks at the lady doctor, which he actually kind of steals his moments in the film for just those looks alone. But anyway, they're trying to figure it out, and they go to bed. And then Blackenstein wakes up, and he wanders off. This happens a lot in this movie. You could just call him the wandering monster, in my opinion. He wanders off, and he goes and he kills this guy that was at the VA hospital. It was an orderly that was tormenting him. And apparently there's still just enough left of his brain that he can figure out to go kill this guy. So he goes and he kills that guy. Rips his arm out. Surprisingly bloody. And then he just sort of wanders around and kills some more people. And then he goes back to the lab. Nobody knows he was gone. So they spend another day trying to figure out what's going on. They go to bed. And Blackenstein wanders off again, kills some more people. Then he comes back to the lab, sleeps. Then the police show up at the lab and they're questioning the doctor, and the doctor doesn't know what's going on. And so the police leave, and then they go to sleep again. or no, wait, actually, Blackenstein attacks the doctor, and they stop him, and they say, oh, maybe we should, lock him up. But they don't, because the next night, he wanders off again, and this time he goes to like a nightclub, or outside of a nightclub. And then in a really weird scene, they just show like a stand-up comedian does a bit on stage, then a lady comes up and starts singing for like 5 minutes. This goes on. It just has nothing really to do with the movie, and then the comic comes out and he starts smoking a cigarette, sees Blackenstein wandering by. Blackenstein kills some more people, wanders off. The police show up. The police show up at the store, or at the nightclub, and they're like armed and they charge in, and then you just see Blackenstein just sort of wander up to the cop cars, just kind of look around and wander off again. And then he goes back to the lab. And at this point, Malcolm shows his true colors, and he's trying to rape the lady doctor. So Blackenstein stops him. Then he's gonna go kill the lady doctor, but he like has a little bit of a fight with the evil assistant. The evil assistant runs off. Then he comes back with a gun and he tries shooting Blackenstein. That does nothing. And Blackenstein kills him. And then the lady doctor runs off. And then Blackenstein goes and he kills the dude with the tiger leg. And he starts walking down the stairs to like go to the lab. And then he hears screaming, so he turns around, goes back up, and kills the old lady. And he goes back down to the lab where the doctor's trying to do something. I think she was getting her notes or something. Anyway, he's like confronting her, and she tries to like get to what's left of him. She kind of does, and then Dr. Stein just jumps out of nowhere and attacks him. And of course, Blackenstein kills him. And then he wanders off again, and then the cops show up. There's these like 2 detectives that are following the case, I guess. And I guess they find out what's going on, and they chase after Blackenstein. And then Blackenstein does the weirdest thing yet. He goes and he kidnaps a woman. Doesn't kill her. He kidnaps her, takes her to this like industrial park, and then she escapes and she's running away. And then, you'd think this is kind of like a Jason movie where he very slowly like chases her, right? Except he isn't really chasing her. Again, he's just sort of wandering around the area, kind of looking for her. She's very much faster than he is. Although I will give the actor credit for like when he is being Blackenstein, he acts very much like Frankenstein. He has the slow gait, he has the arms out all the time, and it portrays an okay version of Frankenstein's monster. But anyway, eventually he catches her, kills her, and then he's wandering around a little bit. Then the cops show up. And it's not a bad brother that takes out Blackenstein. Oh, no. Dogs. They release the police dogs, which is a bunch of Doberman pinschers, which run in, rip Blackenstein apart, and eat him. So it's a very, very weird and brutal end to Blackenstein. And then the dogs just wander off back to their owners, and the lady doctor is, I guess, hooking up with the one of the detectives. The end. So yeah, this is a very odd movie. I can't really say it's all that good. It's not horrible. If you take it with a grain of salt and try to find some humor in it, it is a fairly enjoyable watch, just for the like wandering around killing random people, and the fact he's taken out by dogs. Not guns, not fire, just dogs. So anyway, I will give this movie a 5, and I do recommend you watch it, if for nothing else to say you've seen Blackenstein. Anyway, stay tuned for next time when we will review something else.